Picture a middle school girl sitting at her family's dining room table, watching her mother's head hung in shame and frustration as she struggles to get control over money. A month later, that same girl watches her aunt walk through the front door to comfort her crying mother, who whispers through tears, "I had to file for bankruptcy." The girl doesn't know what bankruptcy means, but she knows it affects her mother's self-worth and stress. She makes a quiet promise to herself. Someday, she'll help people with their money so they won't have to go through what her mom is experiencing. Fast forward 3 decades, and that girl has become Kelsa Dickey, CEO of a 7-figure financial coaching business, creator of the Financial Coach Academy that has trained hundreds of coaches worldwide, and author of the Financial Coaching Playbook. Her journey, from watching her single mother struggle to building the premier training ground for financial coaches, is totally fetch, and it reveals the blueprint for systematizing expertise and scaling impact in the coaching industry. This is the story of how personal pain became professional purpose, and how one woman's mission to take the stress out of money became a movement that's transformed lives across the globe. Act 1, the dining room table origin, the formative moment. Kelsa Dickey's origin story begins not with her own financial struggles, but with witnessing the devastating impact of financial stress on someone she loved most. I learned at a young age that money impacts our life. I was in middle school, and I remember seeing my mom sitting at our dining room table, head hung in shame and frustration as she tried to get control over money, Kelsa recalls. This image, her single mother working hard every day but unable to wrangle her finances, became seared into Kelsa's memory. My mom always struggled with money, despite having a good job and working really hard every day. She was a single mom doing her best, but there was so much to juggle, and no matter how hard she tried, she could not wrangle it. The bankruptcy scene. The defining moment came when Kelsa's aunt arrived to support her mother through a financial crisis. My mom answers the door, and in walks my aunt, my mom's sister. She and my mom embrace. My mom is crying, and my aunt is saying, "It's going to be okay." And my mom says, "I had to file bankruptcy." I didn't know then what bankruptcy was, but I knew it affected her self-worth and overall stress. This scene, the shame, the stress, the sense that her hardworking mother somehow wasn't enough, planted a seed that would eventually grow into Kelsa's life mission. The intervention that changed everything. Her best friend's mother handed her a FAFSA application one day. She said, "What's your plan for college?" "There was no plan. I hadn't even considered it," she said. "I filled this out as best as possible for you. These tabs shows where your mom needs to fill in some things, but you need to get this sent in. You need to go to college, Kelsa." This moment reveals a pattern that would define Kelsa's later work, the power of having someone who believes in your potential and provides practical systems to achieve it. When a college recruiter asked Kelsa what she wanted to do with her life, her answer came straight from her childhood trauma. I said, "I wanted to help people with their money. I just remember thinking if someone could have helped my mom, she wouldn't have been so stressed. She would have been happier. She could have enjoyed life just a little bit more." The recruiter's response was predictable. "You should become a financial advisor." But as we'll see, the traditional financial advisor path wasn't where Kelsa was meant to make her real impact. Act 2, the mismatch discovery, the educational overachievement. Kelsa threw herself into financial education with the intensity of someone on a mission. She earned a bachelor's degree in personal finance, minor in economics, master's degree in accounting, full licensing as a financial advisor, Series 766 health, life, and disability insurance. I became an educated, trained, and licensed financial advisor, but there was a problem. I hated every minute of it. The personal financial paradox. Despite being more educated in personal finance than most people, Kelsa found herself experiencing exactly what she'd watched her mother go through. On top of being in a career I didn't love, I graduated with $32,000 in student loans and was newly married. We had 2 car payments, a few credit cards, we wanted to buy a house, and with both of us spending money, it all felt so overwhelming. The irony was devastating. Here I was, more educated in personal finance than most people, yet I was experiencing the same stress, anxiety, and worries over money that I witnessed my mom go through. The gap recognition. Kelsa's revelation was profound and would later become the foundation of her entire coaching philosophy. I realized the part of money I was struggling with wasn't the part of money I was helping people with every day. It wasn't the long-term planning and investing that felt hard. It was the money coming in and out of my checking account 5 times a day. It was the ping, ping, ping of all the debit and credit card transactions. It was trying to be on the same page with Michael when we clearly saw 2 very different pictures of our finances. The gap between what traditional financial advisors do, investments, insurance, long-term planning, and what people actually struggle with, day-to-day money management, would become the cornerstone of Kelsa's approach. The light bulb moment. The moment of clarity came during her corporate job. Kelsa describes driving home exhausted and burnt out from her financial advisor role, then meeting with a client for an hour. After an hour of helping them, they left and I felt invigorated and energized and overall happy. I said to Michael, my husband, This is what I was meant to do. When I became a financial advisor, this is really what I should have been doing. Act 3, the business birth, the year of planning. Kelsa didn't rush into entrepreneurship. She and her husband Michael spent about a year planning every detail. What would she call herself? Financial coach? What would the business name be? Fiscal fitness? How would she position this new type of service? I told Michael I was on a mission to take the stress out of money, and I continue to pursue that mission today. The leap of faith. On March 25th, 2008, Kelsa made the leap. My last day in corporate America was 3/25/08. She remembers thinking, I'll give it a year, and if I can't cut it, if I'm crazy and this coaching thing doesn't work out, I'll just go back to corporate America. In other words, I totally didn't expect it to become what it has. Kelsa's coaching journey began where her mother's financial struggles had played out at the dining room table. This full circle moment, from watching her mother struggle with money at the dining room table to helping others with their money from that same space, represents the transformation of pain into purpose. Kelsa quickly discovered she was onto something powerful. Her clients began experiencing remarkable results, paying off debt faster than they thought possible, saving hundreds of thousands of dollars, reducing financial stress significantly. Some even credited her with saving their marriages. I have helped thousands of people pay off over $1 million in debt and save hundreds of thousands of dollars. I have clients say I've saved their marriage, transformed their lives, and given them peace of mind. Act 4, the systems revolution, the plan ahead method. As Kelsa worked with more clients, she began developing systematic approaches to financial coaching. Her signature methodology, the plan ahead method, emerged from real client work rather than academic theory. This method gave Kelsa and her family the financial certainty to make major life decisions, taking 2 to 3 months off when they adopted their son Alex, allowing Michael to retire from physical therapy to stay home with their kids, traveling extensively, including Morocco, India, London, Indonesia, Greece, and throughout the US and Mexico, buying a lake home in Michigan, becoming snowbirds at age 41. The fitness metaphor. Kelsa's choice of fiscal fitness as her business name wasn't accidental. She saw parallels between physical training and financial training. Both require consistent daily habits. Both benefit from personalized approaches rather than one-size-fits-all solutions. Both require accountability and support. Both focus on long-term lifestyle changes rather than quick fixes. Her target market of fitness-obsessed small business owners came naturally, the scaling challenge. As Fiscal Fitness Phoenix grew, Kelsa faced a common entrepreneur challenge: how to scale her expertise without losing quality or burning out. Her solution would eventually revolutionize the financial coaching industry, but first, she had to systematize everything she'd learned through trial and error. Act 5, the Academy Vision, the industry problem. Kelsa began to see a larger problem in the financial space. Traditional financial education wasn't working for most people, and there weren't enough qualified financial coaches to help with the day-to-day money management. I almost spit out my water the other day when someone said there were too many financial coaches. Say what now? Let's start by thinking about who financial coaches help. She realized that financial coaches were the key to solving the stress people feel with money. But there wasn't adequate training available for aspiring coaches. Several years after launching Fiscal Fitness Phoenix, Kelsa made a pivotal decision. She launched the Financial Coaching Academy, a robust training program and course that teaches future financial coaches how to get great results with their clients. The Financial Coach Academy wasn't just another course, it was Kelsa's attempt to systematize and scale her expertise to create more qualified coaches who could help more people. Kelsa's approach to launching the Academy demonstrates sophisticated business thinking. She started by pre-selling the program. During the first iteration of the Financial Coach Academy, Kelsa shared that any coach that enrolled in the program would receive lifetime access to any subsequent round of the Academy. This pre-selling approach allowed her to validate demand before creating content, fund the creation process, build a community of founding members, and iterate based on real feedback. Kelsa also incorporated methods to actively request feedback from her students by asking people how the program could be improved. This feedback-driven approach meant the Academy evolved based on real coach needs rather than theoretical assumptions. Act 6, the business model blueprint, the multiple revenue stream strategy. Kelsa built a diversified business model that creates multiple touch points for different types of clients. Fiscal Fitness Phoenix is one-on-one coaching for high-level support, Plan Makers Academy, a self-paced program, corporate wellness programs, and Q&A sessions for uncertain prospects. The Financial Coach Academy is a core training program, elite VIP programs, cohort-based learning, lifetime access, and the Financial Coaching Toolkit, the community building element. One of Kelsa's smartest moves was creating the Financial Coaches Unite, a Facebook group with thousands of members worldwide. This community provides ongoing support for Academy graduates, creates a pipeline of potential Academy students, builds loyalty and engagement, generates content ideas and feedback, and establishes Kelsa as the industry thought leader. The content marketing engine. Kelsa built a comprehensive content strategy. The Financial Coach Academy podcast is a podcast by a financial coach for financial coaches. The Financial Coaching Playbook is a comprehensive manual for coaches. The regular blog content addresses common coaching challenges, and the social media presence keeps it top of mind for her followers. The results that validate. Kelsa's business model has produced remarkable results. What was once a little business of mine has grown into a 7-figure company that employs more than a half a dozen people. Hundreds of coaches have trained through the Academy. Thousands of end clients have been served. Kelsa has multiple best-selling books, and she's gotten recognition in major media outlets, including USA Today, CNN Money, Yahoo, and MSN. The industry transformation, the authenticity emphasis. Kelsa has become a voice for authenticity in an industry often filled with hype and unrealistic promises. Finding our own authentic voice and being ourselves as financial coaches. And it's something I've been wanting to address for too long. She emphasizes that coaches don't need perfect credentials or flawless personal finances to help others. They need authentic desire to help and solid systems. The anti-perfectionism message. Kelsa regularly shares her own financial mistakes, including the top 5 money mistakes she and Michael have made. This vulnerability serves multiple purposes. It normalizes mistakes for her audience. It demonstrates that expertise comes through experience, not perfection. It creates trust through transparency, and it provides learning opportunities for others. The easier it becomes to reflect on your past mistakes, analyze them, and learn from them, the easier it becomes to anticipate future mistakes and ultimately prevent them. The personal finance revolution. Kelsa advocates for a fundamental shift in how we approach personal finance. Personal finance is personal. There is no one way that it will work for everybody. This philosophy directly challenges the one-size-fits-all approach prevalent in traditional financial education and positions coaching as a more effective alternative. The industry building mission. Kelsa's work goes beyond building her own business. She's actively building an entire industry. She's here to change the world through financial coaching by inspiring and building a community of coaches who share her vision and values. This vision positions her not just as a successful entrepreneur, but as an industry pioneer and thought leader. Lessons for financial coaches. The system creation advantage. Kelsa Dickey's story provides a masterclass in how to build systems that scale. Her journey from watching her mother's financial struggles to building a coaching empire offers crucial lessons for financial professionals. 1. Personal pain can become professional purpose. Kelsa's childhood trauma around money didn't disqualify her from financial coaching, it became her greatest qualification. The specificity of her mother's struggles gave Kelsa unique insight into the emotional aspects of financial stress. 2. Identify the gap between education and application. Finding and filling this gap became her competitive advantage. 3. Systems beat individual heroics. Rather than trying to personally help everyone, Kelsa systematized her expertise through the Financial Coach Academy. This allows her impact to multiply exponentially. 4. Community amplifies individual effort. The Financial Coaches Unite group and the Academy cohorts create peer support that extends Kelsa's reach and effectiveness beyond what she could achieve alone, recognizing system builder potential in clients. Financial coaches should watch for these patterns that indicate potential for system creation and industry building. 1. The pattern recognizer. Clients who naturally see patterns in their own or others' financial behavior may have potential to help others systematically. 2. The natural teacher. People who explain concepts clearly to friends and family often have teaching gifts that could be systematized. 3. The community builder. Clients who naturally connect with and support others may have potential to build coaching communities. 4. The process improver. Those who naturally create systems and processes for their own challenges may be able to help others systematically. Practical implementation strategies. For coaches building training programs, 1. Start with pre-selling. Follow Kelsa's model of outlining key content and pre-selling it before full creation. This validates demand and funds the development. 2. Build feedback loops. Create systemic ways to gather and implement student feedback to continuously improve your programs. 3. Offer lifetime access. This creates higher perceived value and allows for ongoing relationship building with students. 4. Create community elements. Build in peer support and networking opportunities that extend the value beyond just the content consumption. For coaches that are developing their own expertise, Document your process, track what works with clients, and systematize successful approaches like Kelsa did. Find your unique angle. Identify the gap between traditional approaches and what clients actually need, like Kelsa did with daily money management. Embrace your story. Use your personal financial journey, including any mistakes you've made, as credibility and connection tools. 4. Start local, scale systematically. Begin with individual clients and develop systems, then scale through group programs and training. The meta lesson, teaching the teachers. Perhaps the most important lesson from Kelsa Dickey's story is the exponential impact of teaching the teachers. By training hundreds of financial coaches through the academy, Kelsa has multiplied her impact far beyond what she could have achieved by working individually with clients. This train-the-trainer model represents the highest level of coaching impact. Kelsa's journey from the dining room table to a 7-figure coaching academy shows how personal transformation can become industry transformation when combined with systematic thinking and generous teaching. The industry building blueprint. Kelsa's model provides a blueprint for building entire industries around coaching expertise. 1. Identify an underserved need, in this case, daily money management. 2. Develop systematic solutions, the plan ahead method. 3. Prove the model with individual clients, the Fiscal Fitness Phoenix organization. 4. Create scalable training, Financial Coach Academy. 5. Build supporting community, Financial Coaches Unite. 6. Establish thought leadership, books, podcasts, and speaking. And 7. Continuously improve based on feedback. Iterating on all of these. This blueprint is totally fetched, not just for financial coaching, but for any expertise-based business looking to scale impact through education and community building. Kelsa Dickey proved that the most powerful coaching businesses aren't built on perfect credentials or flawless personal stories. They're built on authentic desires to help, systematic thinking, and the vision to see how individual transformation can become industry transformation. Her journey from middle school girl watching her mother struggle at the dining room table to a CEO teaching hundreds of coaches worldwide shows us that sometimes the most powerful business models come from turning our deepest wounds into our greatest gifts to the world.